Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are all doing fucking amazing right now. Not getting bombed, or no one you know is getting bombed. They're killed in plane crashes. I mean, feels like there's a lot of shitty news going on right now. But despite the wars and the plane crashes, I mean, the crypto markets are holding up phenomenally well. And today I just wanted to kind of go over. Um, I just kind of wanted to go over everything, and that starts here at Bitcoin. Like I said, it's been holding up tremendously well right now. I mean, we saw a sharp sell off, which was to be expected with the amount of sell volume we had here. But yeah, overall, I still think the chances of hitting 120K are much, much higher than us, reversing lower here. But look how similar this pattern kind of looks to when wars were breaking out in 2022, right around January when Russia invaded Ukraine, Russia and Putin. Um, we saw a major, major sell off in Bitcoin. And I believe we saw the US dollar. Um, yeah, we saw the US dollar go ham when that war broke out initially. So it's pretty obvious there's a inverse correlation to some degree there between the dollar and Bitcoin. Although the dollar's the world reserve currency, that's like the only bullish thing about the dollar at this point. And the chart, it does look kind of bullish, I can't lie. Oh, there goes the RSI. But you can see, why did it just change that shit to yellow, dude? Or to purple? Yeah, the RSI is still a little bit higher, but we're undercutting the low. So US dollar, I'd say, is short-term bullish. But that doesn't change the fact that we're so close to 120K that it feels inevitable at this point. But Bitcoin's chart still looks eerily similar to here, where we barely creep over the top. So it made a top at 61K, and then Bitcoin came back, hit like 69K if I remember, and then aggressive sell off, and it looks super, super similar here. So I do think the I don't know, the run is coming to an end for, you can see the RSI weakening a lot right here too. Same thing's going on here. Like I said, I still think we hit 120K, which I have marked right here at this line. But I don't know. The only thing we can base our trading decisions off of is the past history, and looking at this shit, it'd be hard to fade the shorts coming up. So I think be very careful when you're leverage trading right now. Just because we're in such a 50-50 spot to where things could easily tank back down to 70 to 60K in a matter of days. We could also pump to 120K and overnight. So this is actually a very, very important like month coming up here soon, or coming up here right now. The rest of June and heading into July, like, be paying a lot of attention to not just this, but the US dollar and gold and all the assets right now, which I honestly think gold looks kind of bearish to me. Obviously, you guys heard about the war breaking out right now in Iran, between Iran and Israel. But Bitcoin or gold is kind of double topping here, not quite, but significantly weaker RSI. This isn't really a huge time frame, but nonetheless, it's still a double top RSI bearish divergence, which you can see here. You can see the RSI here is much, much higher than it is now, but price is pretty much around the same. The only thing that does look bullish is just how fast this dip got eaten up right here. We bounced. But I think we could see something where gold drops down to, back down to 3K, and then Bitcoin makes its push to 120K. And then from then, I personally think the end is coming near. And I have been bullish on Ethereum, you know that from the past videos, but it's just such a like shitty situation in the world right now, which would make you think that, you know, whenever there's a war going on, you would think people would start, and governments are starting to like shut down people's bank accounts and freeze assets. That's a perfect time to get into, you know, Bitcoin and Monero and these Bitcoin, Monero, gold, right? It's the perfect time to get into these stores of value that are detached from the government systems. But it just doesn't always work like that. And I will forever be bullish on XMR, whether there's a war, whether exchanges are freezing it, governments are banning it. That only makes it more bullish, in my opinion. Also, the chart looks pretty good right now. So, XMR, I'm always buying that. I'd actually like if it dropped a little bit because we can get it for cheaper. But yeah, overall, I'd say I still have my eyes on 120K Bitcoin, and but we just have to be paying a lot of attention to the U.S. dollar and as well as gold and just the context of the global conflicts going on right now. And yeah, we've gone over what happened. I mean, last time the war broke out, obviously everything is different. I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen, but um, you know, we saw Bitcoin tank hard, and I'm just trying to be best prepared for whatever happens because we can only go up for so long, right? So yeah, usually during the wars, we have seen, like I went over, we've seen gold and we've seen the dollar do really well and outperform Bitcoin by a lot. So that is kind of where some of the scares are coming from. I mean, gold didn't perform that, but look at the volume on gold before or right during the war. That's crazy. Whenever Ukraine got, you know, invaded, damn. And of course it double topped, dropped, and then we see Bitcoin go crazy. So yeah, man, gold is looking really good in the past 5 years, but I do think that we have a short-term top in gold. We see Bitcoin hit its high of 120K. And from there, I will be looking to short the absolute fuck out of the market. And one of those short positions, or short setups, I should say, is, you probably saw me looking at this earlier. This is Hype. And this thing is such a piece of shit that is so overly bought and such an insider coin. Look at this, guys. Look at this chart. I mean, this shit was in the absolute trenches. But I guarantee you haven't heard of Hype. Oh, wait, it's Hype. I'm retarded. It's Hyperliquid. I don't even pay attention to like the fundamentals of these coins, but Hyperliquid, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty well known exchange actually. But I still think it's super insider pumped. Look at the chart. I mean, this is literally just straight up and right. It does look good. I have FOMO, but I will also be shorting the living shit out of it. So this is a really good short setup that I'll be keeping my eye on for the next, you know, week. If we see Bitcoin top out, that'll be a perfect time to get in shorts. And that pretty much sums up the video right now. Wasn't a ton to talk about because all this news is just kind of new right now with the wars. And I saw this post here. Iran is preparing for the largest, most intense missile attack in history on Israeli soil, which was released by the Iranian media. You know, this wasn't just someone lying. So it's gonna be a very, very important couple weeks coming up here for the markets as a whole. And I wanted to get a video out before, but I'll keep you guys updated throughout the next week or two. But like I said, for now, 120K Bitcoin is still in our eyes, still on the target, still on the horizon. But ultimately, we'll be loading up shorts sooner than later. We're just gonna be paying attention to the U.S. dollar index, as well as the U.S. dollar index, gold, and that sort of thing. And we're just gonna be patient, wait for news, and that pretty much wraps up the video for today. But I'll definitely, like I said, release some more videos in the coming week to keep you guys updated. But appreciate you guys watching, and feel free to hit that sub if you want. If not, I don't give a fuck. But All right, let's make some money, guys. I'll catch you later.